COs in the jail wanted to leak my conversation out to TMZ, and they was trying to get money out the conversation between me and my wife. And I just told them, listen, let them do it, and you sue them. I said, you stick it to them real good. And they threw me in a hole and tried to figure out what correction officer was doing this, but I had to suffer behind that.
Welcome to the Openish Podcast. It's your host, Latia Ashley, and I have a very, very, very special guest, Mendeecees.
And thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. We're so happy that you're able to join us and to get into life. How you feeling first?
I feel amazing. Anytime I wake up and my family's straight, I feel blessed. I have a cousin, but more like a brother that he died in his sleep. So I take every day that I wake up as a blessing.
That's beautiful. Mendeecees, what does your name mean?
King. That's what I was told. So, and I'm gonna run with that. So it's an African name. My grandfather his name was Mendeecees.
Okay. On your mom's side?
On my mom's side.
Of course.
Yeah. And then it's passed down to me.
And then he passed it down to your baby?
Then passed it down to my son.
Any more kids?
Nah.
You through?
Yeah, listen, man, it's time my kids are getting older now. It's time to set them up so they could be successful, and at the same time try to create the balance where I can start living for me, my wife, and just focus on us.
Right. We have one daughter.
One daughter, 3 sons.
Boy, Lord, I pray for your daughter when she starts dating. I mean, and she's a baby too, right?
Yeah, she's a baby.
She gonna be all right. She gonna always be okay.
She run my household now.
She run the boys?
What? She run the whole house.
Come on, Skylar.
Right. She definitely does that.
I love that. So where did you learn the blueprint on fatherhood and parenting?
Like, I had a friend, and I used to watch him with his kids, and at the same time I'm watching, I'm admiring him how he is with his children. I'm admiring about of the times he put in actually with his children, not just the money he spent on them. It was the time that was more important. And I learned through observation. I was once a kid, and I seen everybody else with their father, teaching them things and grooming them. When I was young, I used to look for a father figure and a protector. And when I didn't have that, I'm converted to the streets. But I always said to myself that, when I have kids, they will never be me, right? They will never have to look for no one else or look nowhere else for any type of guidance or direction or protection. I will be all that for them.
What was your father?
I don't know. That's a great question. Something happened between him and my mom when I was a baby and I was young, and I have the least amount of information given to me. So as an adult, when I ask questions, it's still a tough spot for her. So I just let it be.
I always thought that was amazing how men who grew up without a father, they either go to the left and then they're the worst dad in the world, or they're like you and they're super present.
So when I found out I was gonna be a father, right? I was excited. I was excited. Had a lot of confused emotions. That from that day I found out, I was like, I gotta change my life, right? I gotta start living right. I gotta start doing things and setting my future up so I can be there for my child, right? So I was like, and that thought process began right from that moment on, and I started just planting these seeds of what can I do and what my future look like, and I was just I really didn't want to work for no one, so I was like, I'm gonna do real estate. I'm good at figuring things out, and I'm good at turning nothing to something. right? And so I was like, that's what I'm gonna do. I want to be my own boss. I don't want to work for anyone. I know how to flip. So, I know how to.
Always in one.
Right. So it was just like I'm gonna take that same energy and apply it to real estate. And
So you were always in the real estate. This isn't new. Not
so
just
I always came I used to at first I came in as an investor, right? I didn't really have the knowledge or the experience to be into real estate, but I came in as an investor. You know how you put your money up and buy stuff and I relied on people to do all the work, right? And
how that turned out.
it works out. You learn from a few mistakes, but for the most part it worked out. So later on, I was like, nah, I want to know every aspect of real estate and developing because this is where I want to go. I want to control my own destiny.
Being in control of your own destiny. Do you ever feel like life tries to put you back in a box?
I think having a felony or having, well, I have two. Um Society will put you in a box, right? People start to label you as a criminal, right? So
Right.
you're always living with that. People always saying, you're a criminal, you're a criminal, you're a criminal. No matter how it could be, I caught a felony. It was how many 11 years ago, right? And we still talking about it to this day, right? I served my time. I came home. I did the halfway house. I got on probation. I finished my probation. I paid my debt to society,
Right.
right? But somehow it's hang over my head because people still you know a lot of people don't believe in second chances, especially
Right.
for people like me. They don't believe that we can change our lives and we could want better and do better. So they think that we forever this criminal, but I'm proof that that's not true. So when my kids see me, my wife see me, my friends see me, my loved ones see me, and then people see me every day, I change that narrative.
So you're living proof that giving somebody a second chance, second revamp their entire life.
Well, shit, I got this my third chance because I've been a felony twice. So
Well,
sometimes it take more than one chance, for someone to get it right. But you just for me, uh,
too much to lose.
too much to lose, and too
Right.
many life depending on me. I got 4 children. I can't make the mistakes.
Being a present father like you are, being incarcerated for 5 years,
5.5.
5.5. How was that transition back to the real world from prison camp?
Right. I think I had a great support system. Right. I had great children mothers that kept me in tune in my children life. So that made that process very easy because I watched my kids grow up through the visitation, and then when I came home, for them they think I was at work.
That's what I was gonna ask you, like, what so they I
So
mean,
my
now
oldest son knew, but the 3 little ones at that time, they just thought it was work, daddy
they
at
work for a
work.
long time.
Yeah, so I remember one time my daughter, my young son, like, Dad, don't never go back to that job. You can't work when I was there visit. Dad, you can't ask my grandma to give you a job where you get to come home every night.
There you go.
So I used to be like, yeah, yeah, soon it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. But it's more of a mental thing, right? Because the kids used to come on a visit and they used to be like the every visit they ask, when you coming home, when you coming home, when you coming home. And mentally that kinds of you up. So you
Right.
start to be very conscious on the decisions you make and knowing that these decisions you make, it only affect you, affect your loved ones. And it really, really, really is a huge, huge, huge life changing situation for everyone that loves you. In prison, they mentally try to break you, right?
For sure.
They would do anything they can to separate families by just harassing um your visitors when they come see you, as far as like um standing in the rain, making them wait a long time, searching them, harassing them, kind of make them feel like they in prison too with you.
They are doing time.
Right. But actually, physically, because, even how they speak to your family members. right? And I would just remember one time I was thrown in the hole, which is they call it solitary confinement for on the phone because they was one of the COs in the jail was wanted to leak my conversation out to TMZ, and they was trying to get money out the conversation between me and my wife. And I just told them, listen, let them do it, and you sue them. I said, you stick it to them real good. And from that point on, they wanted to start an investigation, try an in-house investigation, and they threw me in a hole and try to figure out what correction officer was doing this. But I had to suffer behind that because I said sue them because I threatened to sue on the cell on a jail phone. It was like wait,
That's legal.
right?
Right.
We don't need that. And being in that shoe for 24 hours, just the walls, no really
How long were you
daylight.
in the hole?
I was there for like 30 days, and I remember it, man. It was like just I had a time to reflect whole life, right? So I sat there with a piece of paper and a pencil, and I just was like writing stuff down. I was just writing like all the bad decisions I made. I just started just reflecting. I would just remember like, when I come out of this whole situation of being incarcerated, I only use this time to work on myself. Right. I only use this time to find out who am I? Not the street guy, not the father figure, not the husband. Just who am I?
You had to find yourself.
Yeah. So, I just was just working through a lot of stuff that I really had peace, right? It sounds weird because when I was in the streets, I was just running every day. I was just running. When you it's that limelight, you got money, your phone don't stop ringing, they never stop wanting things, and your people doing everything to get your intention, and you start living for the stage. You're not like really. So I would buy a lot of cars and jewelry, not actually buy things that or doing things that made me happy. I was just living for that perception of who people thought I was.
You were living on a stage.
Right,
So you were an actor in your own play.
right. I was acting my own movie.
So that gave you the right to rewrite the script.
Right, right.
Did you write down any good qualities about yourself as well?
I didn't write that on paper, but what I did was to focus on the change.
The change.
Right. So I was just like, you know uh, what I'm gonna do different. Right. So I was like, anything that I did previously, I'm gonna do different.
Do you feel like you owe a debt to society outside of the legal grounds as far as you involved in the drug game? That's a product and a substance that destroys families. And I personally have had that affect my family as well. And I'm sure
Right.
same here. So do you ever feel that you owe a debt to society in a different way?
No, I don't feel like I owe any debt. But I'm conscious enough to know that, I was a, a, a cause of the problem. And at the same time, in that process, I was desensitized to that.
Right?
And, you know, one of the things I recognize now is how can I be solution, right?
Like,
How can I go back and speak to young brothers that come from that same environment or that same thinking pattern, not that how I used to think.
right.
Because I had maybe I was thinking, they fucked up my household. They wasn't thinking about my when they sold drugs to my mom, they was thinking about her kids and her household. And if they're gonna get it from someone, why not me? Right. And at the same time, without having male role models around, we gotta eat. How else we gonna eat? If this is what my friends is doing, this is what I'm seeing everybody doing. I didn't see any other opportunities. I didn't have anyone show me any other opportunities.
Brand.
So, either, we starve or we figure it out. So you sink or you swim. And that was the way of thinking for so long, until I wanted change. I was ready, and that change came when I knew I was going to have a child, because I knew what my future, possibly future, was going to look like. It was only death or in jail. Those are the only two outcomes.
How do you see yourself now?
I don't know. I think humble, grateful, and blessed that I can come out of everything that I came through, and not be like messed up in the head, or not
And
have like the trauma or have the issues that I see most people have.
yeah, a lot of people that come from where you come from that has endured what you had don't come out like
But I
this.
think I think I think I
So
think it got a lot to do with what I'm exposed to,
that's it.
right? What I'm exposed to uh is just a lot of people don't get that opportunity.
Right.
So what I do is, a lot of my friends, my day one friends, I try to expose them to new things, new ideas, new way of living, new way of thinking, and I believe it's helping. I just on fella, one of my day one friends, and he just was just telling me thank you for helping him fix his credit, helping him get business funded. So now he's investing into his first project. And he was just like, thank you. I've been listening for you talk all the time. And now I'm actually executing. And I'm just saying, I'm proud of you, because he was my road dog in the street. And, now seeing him change his life, I, I couldn't be more happy upon. I feel like I did something right.
Do you still have a lot of your day one friends?
Yeah. I mean, I don't have any like bad relationships. When something with me, you good, or we love each other. We usually locked in forever. So I don't have like too many fallout relationships.
Fallout and cutoffs.
Well, maybe only with women back then, but not with like guys.
I mean, I don't want to tap into that, but
Yeah. Well, women definitely, but guys, nah. Once we cool, we locked in. We mess with each other. If we did fall out, it wasn't he wasn't probably a genuine. It was probably nothing like real there, but my real friends, yeah, I got friends at sixth grade that I still speak to today.
that says a lot about you. So what's something about you that you would change?
Like, what you mean?
Like if you could snap your finger and say, um, I wish I was better at this.
I wish I didn't live in that space where I'm reserved,
Mhm.
right? So I wish I had a personality that I see a lot of people have, that's more outspoken, that's more courageous enough to speak how they feel, express themselves. Right? I only speak when I'm spoken to.
No, no,
I
no.
only speak, if I have something to say that I feel like it deserves my voice.
I think that's a good thing. I think a lot of people
Yeah, it's
vocal.
but also it's good, but sometimes it'll come right out on camera. So when the cameras come,
Well, you know how that
it's kind of different.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's dope. Like, that's actually, I have a friend and his mom had a saying, when you have the mic, make sure you have something to say.
Right.
So the fact that you don't mind being quiet, that means you don't need attention.
Right.
Because some people just got to be seen there,
But I look at the people with, I would say, with beautiful personalities, that's able to market themselves, are able to sell products, are able to to just be a walking brand. You can't do that unless you talk.
Yeah.
Right? You can't do that unless you have a personality that you're not fearful of, and get past it, to judgment, people judging you.
Right. Well, I think,
So me, I'm like, I ain't the clown, I ain't the class
yeah, but
clown.
that ain't for everybody though. I think
I'm very conscious on, what I say or what I do. So I don't really have it like, my wife would be like, hey, sell this product. I'm like, oh, okay.
shout out to you, Andy. Matter of fact, I see her name tattooed on you. You have any more tattoos?
Nah, it's the only tattoo I got.
Is that the last tattoo?
I wouldn't say it's the last, but this is definitely the only tattoo I got.
That's dope. That's dope. But I think you're the way you are because of why you are. I think your personality will fit a community. Believe it or not, there's a lot more people that's like you than that's not like you.
Right.
And I think you fit. You speak to them. So I mean, once you tap into your why, I think success is going to continue to be at your front door. What's something that you're most proud of for yourself?
I would say because the most thing I'm proud of uh, is my children love me. My wife love me. Every time my children say, "Dad, Dad, Dad," every single day, it's like music to
Really?
yeah.
I got a brother named Joe, and he would say that that's a headache for him. But that's
I think you know my children are very affectionate, right? They when you're having a bad day, they're gonna come give you a hug and they're gonna come give you a kiss. And I kiss my sons, I kiss them on the forehead or I might kiss them on the cheek. And my oldest son, he is like, with people around is weird. If nobody's around, it's like he gonna smile, he's looking for it. But when don't do it when people around, like dad, do that with people around. I'll be like, you know, I, one thing about it is I never want them to ever question, do your dad love them? They know they dad love them. They feel sure. And for me, that's important.
So let's go down a list real quick. What's your best quality about your children? Let's start from the oldest to the youngest.
Um, from the oldest, I think
Like, what's one of your favorite things? Like, I love this about my son.
my Fred K from Little Man DC. I think that he's more like me. He's reserved, but he's coming out his shell. I love he's very thoughtful. He listens and he wants to do the right thing to please his parents, and it's becoming his first nature to do right and to be conscious and care about people's feelings. So I love that about him. My second son, he's following the same footsteps as what you see what his brother do. My youngest son, he's more like his mom. It's very, 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 very thoughtful. He care about others more than he care about himself.
And
That's the young man, Yenny's son.
I mean,
Yeah. And my daughter, well, she's like her. She's in the
she's a girl.
Yeah, she just she's in her own world right now, and I love that about her because she she say what she means, and I can tell she's going to be a leader, right? And she just got a strong will of not of getting what she want and doing something she has that tenacity of no one can tell her anything different.
What's your favorite thing about you? If you could pinpoint.
Oh, so I has a bunch of favorite things.
Okay, let's go.
One of the things about her, she's selfless, and she always put herself last. Right? She'll make sure all the people that she loves is taken care. She make sure all the people she loves even eat first, and she really she really care about her family. And I'm not just talking about her household, I'm talking about her entire family and friends. And she's very easy to make friends, and she have personality that she's a free spirit, and she's a
total opposites. You on that?
Yeah. That's that's why it works.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Because I had to tougher her up in the beginning.
Oh,
Right. When I say tougher up, I think that she was so much of a pushover that people was like portraying portraying who something that they not. And I used to see through it, and I used to have to tell them, listen, that person ain't who you think they are. And she's like, no, what are you talking about? And tell her, and she had to find out later.
So you had a different type of discernment than her.
Right.
But your environment was probably a bit different as well.
Yeah. She had both parents. She was very sheltered. So you got to understand, I've been getting doomed coming out straight off the porch.
Right.
So I had to find out who people were later, but I've been paying attention, body language, signs. I can see deeper than further than what she can see. So you have to learn to see things that you can't physically see.
Right.
She didn't know how to do that. Now she got a lot better.
I'm sure.
She got a lot better because everything I called out played out.
Mm.
So that is just your experience as dealing with people and being young from a young age. I was young, a kid dealing with adults. And one thing that adults have over kids that they think they smart,
That's true.
right? They think they smarter,
Yeah.
but intelligence don't have no age. You have the smartest people that lack common sense.
Go there.
So you have a lot of people that I know have book smarts, that have college degrees, but they lack common sense, right? It take a balance with street smarts, book smarts, and common sense. I feel my pain to succeed in life, right? Because um 90% of the conversation is nonverbal.
But
You don't know how to read that or read the room. You don't. Now in corporate, for people, if you with the pen, the street say if you with the pistol, in corporate world, if you with the pen and that contract, and if you don't know how to distinguish the difference or understand every smile in your face or every hug, doesn't really mean you good, because I've been both ways.
I was gonna say, how'd you learn corporate? Because that's not your
Both, I mean, like both ways, right? So contracts, I've been business, or any way you can imagine, and most of the time it come from people that smile and hug you, and you think is uh love there, or some type of cordial relationship, and then you find out later it was a very selfish act, that
to share.
how they structured the deal. They was thinking about you and your family. They was thinking about domination.
So what's the foundation to this peace that you have now? Because at one point you said you was looking over your shoulder all the time, paranoid, don't know who to trust. I mean, you probably still got a little bit of outlook.
You can like this, right? I just right now just make sure I vet the process really good. I make sure that now everything go through lawyers. I make sure that I have patience and not uh be so aggressive, to get things done. Right? I just use time and patience to make sure it fits the direction I want to go in life, to that it makes sense for me to do a deal, or to invest in this investment.
Got it. So what's the source of this patience and this discernment and this all this wisdom that you have now?
I'm a firm believer in God, right? And even in bad times and good times, always call on God. The number one thing is learning how to deal with things that's out of your control. Right? These people take all strip you from all your control. You don't control when you wake up. You don't control when you go to sleep. You don't control when you eat. You don't control when you go to bath. Right? So you learn how to deal with that, and you learn to grow patient.
But how do you teach that to your children? Because they don't have
It's not giving them what they want when they want it, making them earn it, telling them no sometimes. Just like our children, we want to create a balance where we don't just give them everything that they ask for.
right.
Right? We have enough things going on where they can work for it. And if we don't, you can't work here, you can't work this, so you can work in the house. So it's always something to do than me just hand it to you. No one is gonna hand you anything in life. You have to work for it. My children, how they grow up with housekeepers and tutors, and
Well, that had been nice.
that's, but at the same time, God made things the way they was for the way they are now.
That's it.
And it's a blessing for me, and it's a blessing for them to stay blessed.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Well, Mendeecees, thank you so much for your time. I can't even tell you how awesome it is to have you here in the Openish podcast. And I wish the best for you, your family, peace and blessings. And you got to stop back in.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
All good. Thank you.
All right.
It's a wrap. Cheers.
You got through it, huh?
Oh, Lord.